All right. Hello, hello. We're live. Can everybody hear me? Let me know. We're going to be talking about GPT 5.6, of course. Of course. Sol Ultra. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me, everybody. All right. You don't hear me. Who hears me? Sounding great. Thanks, Alex. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. GPT 5.6 dropped. 17 other models dropped. We'll talk about hopefully all of them. Let me get the blog post loaded up. All right, here we are. GPT 5.6 is finally here, and it's kind of crazy that it took that long. I've been using it probably for almost 2 months now. Maybe not quite 2 months, but been using it for well over a month. Then, they basically couldn't release it. OpenAI could not release GPT 5.6 while Fable was still banned. They couldn't, because if they released Fable, they were either admitting it wasn't as powerful, or they were just going to get it revoked and taken offline by the government. So they had to wait and wait and wait. And then, of course, right when they publicly announced GPT 5.6, I lost access to it, which was about a week ago. And then just a few days later, Fable was released, or re-released, I should say. And yeah, now, as of today, everybody gets GPT 5.6. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Back to live mode, publish. Can you briefly explain what GPT 5.6 Relay is? Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Let's see if I can pull it up on screen. It's too much to look up right now. So I'll just talk about what it is. It's just a little skill that I put together. Let's see, Alex, if you can find it, it's on our Forward Future GitHub repository. And basically what it is it allows you to have a planning model with GPT 5.6 SOL, and then it will actually manage other threads in Codex for you. So you can plan with Sol and then delegate off to Luna or Terra, the smaller models, and save a bunch of quota. So planning with the frontier, and then offloading for the actual writing of code from some of these smaller models. And I think that's going to be a really effective strategy. So that's what that is. Yeah, thank you, Alex. So github.com. Let's see. I'll pull it up now that I got. Alex, can you drop that in the live streams channel just so I can click on it easily? All right. Can you all see this? Yeah. So check this out. So if you're interested, it's open source. It's a skill. You can install it directly into Codex. The purpose, once again, is to have Sol as the main model for kind of planning and orchestrating a big job. Then you're going to outsource to Terra for the implementation, Sol again, the big model for the review, and then Luna, if you ever just say deploy to your models, Luna for the actual deployment. So you can find it all right here. It's brand new. We already have 10 stars, which is pretty cool. Go check it out. Go check it out. Go install it. It's great for 5.6. You can fork it and make it applicable to any models that you want. But I've been using this strategy quite a bit where the planning, the spec is written by this frontier model and then offloaded to, a really good coding model, but not frontier level. All right. So let's see. What do we want to talk about today? Let me know what you want to hear about. Oh, by the way, This is cool. Tebow tweeting some fire. So Claude devs. So by the way, Claude, we've reset 5-hour and weekly rate limits for all users. Fantastic. Tebow coming in with the dunk. I smell fear. I smell fear. So on the day that essentially 3 models were released, or within 24 hours of 3 models being released, we have the Grok model, we have Meta's Spark model, and then we have GPT 5.6. Of course, Claude comes in and says, go ahead, reset the tokens, which is very good because even though they extended the window in which you can use Fable as part of your subscription, I already used all of my quota. So the extension did not help me at all. But I love this tweet. I love this tweet. Good job, Tebow. So I wrote a review about GPT 5.6. By the way, if you have any questions while I go through this, feel free to drop it in chat. I'll try to address it. So you have to remember, GPT 5.6 is still part of the GPT-5 pre-training run, as far as I know. Right? I don't have inside information, but that is what I understand. Why would they name it 5.6 otherwise? So this is essentially kind of the peak of the GPT-5 family or pre-training run models. That it is incredibly good, incredibly powerful. It gets things done really well. It feels very rounded. And I made this analogy of an athlete. This is the veteran athlete who's been in the game for a long time. They have incredible game IQ. They don't make a lot of mistakes. Maybe their raw talent isn't as good as the rookie, right? Because Fable, turns out, is more like that rookie, straight out of the draft pick. Incredible headroom to grow, get better, learn, gain experience. The raw talent is substantial, though. But that's how I see these two models. And GPT 5.6 is likely the last model of the GPT-5 training run that we're going to see, right? Because Fable 5 is part of that new, I think, 10 trillion parameter training run. It is not the Opus 4. It's not the 4 series of models. This is truly a new model. And so that's how I think about these. Just pure raw talent, kind of needs a bit of guidance, needs a bit of hand holding. But GPT 5.6 is that vet that just gets things done. So I wanted to say that. Let's look around the blog post and then I'll go back to my review. Keep the questions coming, by the way. So, okay. Let me see. Wolf Steverever. So it's the same base model as 5.5. I believe so. This is just what I think is going on. So I don't know for sure. But why would they name it 5.6 if it wasn't? However, here's the thing. 5.5 to 5.6 is a massive leap. So during those weeks that I got to test the model, all of a sudden I lost access to it when they publicly announced it for the last week or so. And I started to have to use, before Fable was re-released, GPT 5.5. And my goodness, it was noticeably worse. It would not be able to see around corners as effectively. It would not be able to accomplish long horizon tasks as effectively. It was significantly it was a significantly degraded experience from GPT 5.6. It was really like I lost, a lead engineer on the team, and it was replaced with kind of a mid-level engineer. Why SOL is not available in Codex? I don't know. Just wait. Update your Codex. It should be there. All right, so let's read around. Oh, one of the new things that I really only got to play with over these last 2 days, not for the last few weeks, is the Ultra mode. I'm kind of, I for like the work I do, even when I'm doing some of the hardest coding problems that I need, Ultra just seems like overkill. And even with Fable, anything above high, so medium high is kind of the range of thinking that I like to do within Fable. Extra high and max, I don't really ever use them. Yeah, so we need to talk about the pricing. We'll get to that in a bit. I have so many thoughts about this, so many thoughts about all of this, especially because I've been using it so long. And by the way, if you're watching, please like the stream. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And then one last thing. We actually just updated from forwardfuture.ai to forwardfuture.com. We bought the .com. Very excited, very proud of it. And go check it out. This is more than just a newsletter. We have been putting so much time and effort into this. We have original guest authors now writing essays for us. Here's Zach Lloyd, founder and CEO of warp.dev. We have Scott Santons, who is a UBI expert. Just a bunch of great original articles. We just put this up. This is basically, we have a meeting every morning called the Zeitgeist. It's an internal team meeting. We talk about the latest trends, what's going on, and we started publishing some of what we talk about, and it's a lot of fun. And then, of course, all of our tools. So the Loop library, the Loop skill, Will Codex Reset, our little microsite for GPT 5.6 full review. It's all there. So go to forwardfuture.com, subscribe if you're not already. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Brian, wow, what a team. Okay. By the way, we tried to get the team on this stream, but we're just struggling so much to get Ecamm working with the stream. So just hopefully next time you get to see more of the team on the actual stream, which would be really cool. David Barry, what's up? Fable vs. Soul, what in your opinion is the best for planning? I don't know if I have a strong opinion or I don't think I've decided yet. I think Fable is incredible for planning. I think Soul is incredible for planning. What I'll usually do is I'll make them both plan and then compare notes against each other. I know I'm very fortunate to be able to do that and not have to worry about all of the tokens being burned up. But, you're not going to lose with either of them, really. Saurabh Suri, how much did the domain cost? Thank you. I think it was like $2,500. So kind of less than I thought it would be. And of course, GoDaddy was squatting on it, which, screw GoDaddy, but that's who we bought it from. So nobody actually owned it. GoDaddy was just squatting on it and charged us for it. Okay. Cool. Good question. Yeah, George, you didn't join late. We just started a few minutes ago. I'm going to get to all this. Let me get through it. Let's see what we got here. We trained GPT 5.6 to get more useful work from every token. Now, this is definitely something I noticed. In my review, I specifically pointed out GPT 5.6 felt like it knew the straightest path to a solution to a problem more so than any other model I had ever used. It worked for less time, but still felt as effective. So when you start to look at the cost per task accomplished metric, which is very different from any other metric and a very important metric, especially lately as enterprise start getting these massive AI bills, Soul is a very compelling model. Oh, way break today. Thank you for the 5. How does GPT 5.6 compare to Opus 4.8? 5.6 is much better than Opus 4.8. Opus 4.8 feels like a last generation model. GPT 5.6 feels like a new generation model, which is weird because it's not. It's just they've eked out every bit of improvement out of the GPT-5 training run as they could. That's my understanding. Not inside information at all. Okay, so let's see. Here's Agent's last exam. Yeah, you can see, like, here's Claude Opus 4.8. I mean, what you don't want is to be way over here on the right side. And this is Claude Opus. Now, they don't have, oh, they do have Fable. Yeah, okay. Okay, so wait, where's Fable? Is that it? Weird. Why don't I see Fable on here? All right, well, we see Opus. And you can see it's very expensive. And right here, GPT 5.6 Luna and SOL are both very effective and well priced on a per task basis. It's under the orange line. Is that it right there? Yeah, there it is. Okay, thank you, Alex. Yep. Thank you. And again, like, I think we all feel this. The Anthropic models are incredibly expensive. And I have a bunch of thoughts about this. If you're trying to get work done today, it's hard to argue against just using the Codex system, using GPT models. They're just fantastic. They're well priced, especially if you can, or if you should be, orchestrating between Sol, Terra, and Luna. They're just really powerful models. Now, if you're looking for the absolute frontier and are okay kind of spending the budget, spending the cost necessary to get that frontier, Fable is an incredible model. Don't get me wrong. The price of Fable and the subsequent likely distilled versions of Fable, Sonnet kind of came through with a little flop, but once Haiku, right? Fable 5 Haiku comes out, these are going to be incredible models as well. I guess it's not called Fable Haiku, excuse me. It's just Haiku 5, I guess. When you start with the biggest, best model on the planet, you can also distill the best, best in class model as well. Gabriel, first time on your live stream. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. All right. Let's keep going. Let's see. That efficiency extends to smaller models, which are essential to making intelligence more abundant and affordable. Terra and Luna outperform Fable 5 at around 1/16 the cost. That's hard for me to believe. I don't know if that doesn't really make a lot of sense. What am I missing here? On Agent's last exam. Yeah, I mean, look, all of these public benchmarks, take them with a grain of salt. Ultimately, I think hopefully you all just saw OpenAI basically say SweBench Pro had flaws in it, and they started saying it's not worth putting out that benchmark or using that benchmark, which was kind of a big deal. Here's Artificial Analysis Coding Agent Index. And what do we see? Here's Opus 4.8 coming in at max effort, 72 score, $2,400 on API cost. We have GPT 5.6, basically right around the same cost for that max effort, except you're getting an 80 score. So, I mean, it is clear 5.6 is clearly better than Opus 4.8. Like, let's see where Fable lands. Where's Fable? Oh, yeah. Look at it way out here. That cost is crazy. Yeah, so let's see, from $2,400 API cost all the way up to $3,700 API cost and scored less on the index. But I'm telling you, the real thing that matters is they're going to continue to post-train Fable. It's going to get better. There is so much more headroom, and I still am... I'm still a big believer that the Fable model is going to be, in the long run, a fantastic model. They just need to bring the performance down and the price per performance as well. All right, so we have some games here. Actually, one thing I want to show... So by the way, this is, if you want to go check it out, I published a full GPT 5.6 review, which includes all of the demos that I created. It includes all of my thoughts on the model. You can get it at, I'll actually just drop this in the chat if you want to go check it out directly. This is what I'm going to be reviewing for the next few minutes. But you can also, if you go to forwardfuture.com, you'll see it front and center at the top. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to show you some of these demos. But the thing I want to show you first is the design. Okay, so here's a design of the loop library that I created, that we have published at forwardfuture.com. And so, like, the design aesthetic of GPT 5.6 seems to be, let's make everything into PowerPoint slides. Now, that isn't saying that it's not beautiful. It just feels like everything is a PowerPoint slide. And when I'm creating a website, that's not necessarily the look and feel that I want to go for. And so with a little bit of nudging, I got it to be much better. And so it is very steerable from a design perspective, but out of the box, it has these very like common tendencies. No matter what you do, it is always going to produce something that looks very similar to everything else out there. But again, the good thing is just steer it a little bit and you're going to go far. So this is the after, and it, you know, I could have even taken it a little bit further, but it's pretty darn good. I like the look of Angel Fire HTML. Matt Stevick. My goodness, I have not heard Angel Fire in probably 2 decades. You just reminded me of that. Is it available yet? Yes, it is available. Yep. It should be. If it's not in your account yet, just wait. It should be there by the end of the day. It's definitely in Codex. Yeah, enjoy. Brian, are you asking me for context here? Still rolling out. Okay. So, yeah. So they have some games here. Let's see. Shiny Voids game. Drop in. Okay. Yeah. Pretty cool. Sailing game. Start regatta. Yeah, I mean, these are pretty nice. Oh yeah, the physics feel real good on this. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and miss that first checkpoint. Yeah, so pretty nice. Let the tokens burn. All right, let's see. API cost for score. This is the RSI index. What is the RSI index? I never even heard of that. I know a lot of you are mentioning the new voice mode. I haven't played with it. Should I? I mean, yeah, I haven't even tried it yet. Let me know if you think I should play with that. Ahmed, do I still hold the same view on the whole government situation? Any specific question on that? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I mean, obviously, like the government, trying to roll back the model and kind of control the deployment of these models. I have strong thoughts about that, but maybe we'll save that for another video. I've already talked about it quite a bit, but if you have a specific question, I can answer it. Kyle DeMauro, voice mode is seriously impressive. Yeah, cool. Did you all see the promo that they put out for it, where it's like like three grandmas talking about it? I love that. I love that video. It's so good. All right, here's all the benchmarks, but what am I looking for? Where is the pricing? I want to talk about pricing. All right. Here we go. Okay. So here's the important part is the pricing. So GPT 5.6 is priced per million tokens across 3 model sizes. SOL at $5 per input, $5 per million input, $30 per million output. Now, when most people think about SOL, that's the one that they're going to be comparing against Fable. And so $5 per million input, $30 per million output. I believe Fable is $10 per million input, $50 per million output. So this is significantly less expensive than Fable. The other important thing to note about that, there are 3 sizes to GPT 5.6. And so for SOL, you are paying $5 per million input, $30 per million output, but you can pay a lot less overall. And there are, with these 3 sizes, and with Fable, you don't get that option. You can offload to Sonnet, but they don't have that kind of really inexpensive, fast option. The other thing to note about the price is not only is kind of the raw per million token price less expensive than Fable for SOL, which is, basically as good right now. But generally, Fable is using many more tokens for the same task. I swear GPT 5.6 sees things directly. It's like, I'm going to get this thing done. I know exactly how to get there. I'm not going to straggle. I'm not going to go off course. I'm just going to get this thing done that you asked for and nothing else. Fable is like, cool, I'm going to get the thing done, but then I'm also going to do 17 other things along the way, and I'm also going to burn a lot of tokens. So it's just not only less expensive SOL, but it's also it uses less tokens overall. Here's GDP val, which is an internal benchmark or not an internal, but it's a OpenAI created benchmark. And let's see, give me one sec. Yeah, so it scores really high on the GDP val. And the GDP val is a benchmark that tests real world knowledge work. Actual kind of practical knowledge work. And as you can see, it's right before Fable 5, or right under Fable 5, I should say. All right. So let me show you a few things that I built. First of all, real quick shout out to here.now, which is how I'm hosting this GPT 5.6 full review. All of the demos that I created are all hosted on here.now. So shout out to them. And the cool thing is my agents just publish there. I didn't really have to, it's really interesting. Once you install here.now, your agents will start publishing there things that it makes sense to do, but I didn't directly ask it. So for example, I am creating this thing called Astro, and I'm going to give more information on it soon, but I had to create a bunch of benchmarks for Astro. And as it was going through those benchmarks, I wanted to save all the scores. And I wanted to be able to access all of those scores from any computer, and it just knew to publish to here.now, which I thought was really cool. Okay. So first, I'll show off Blockcraft. I can play it here. I want to be able to actually play it. Give me one sec. Okay, one sec. I want to pull this up full screen, and I don't see a way to click through right now. We should probably fix that on this page. Then I'm also going to show you this Excel clone. And wait until I tell you how it actually built this. And by the way, fully usable. If you want to go play with this right now, you can. Go to, I'm going to drop the link in chat right now. This is the GPT 5.6 review page. And then if you just click down, you can play with it right iframed in the page, or you can go ahead and click open the live build. All right. So this is Blockcraft. Let's see if you guys can see this. Yeah. Okay. This is Blockcraft. It's a Minecraft clone. I set off GPT 5.6 on a loop. And I simply said, clone Minecraft, full feature parity. And it ran for about 6 days before I manually stopped it. And so after the first day or so, we had a fully working Minecraft game. And then for the next 4+ days, it would basically just go do research on different biomes, different NPCs, different enemies that are present in the real Minecraft game, and would just create them one by one. And it would just go create like one area of the map, completely spend hours on it, ship it, and then move on to the next one. And so here we go. It's actually quite impressive. It's a little laggy. It's a little dark right now because I guess it's nighttime. It's a little laggy because it all runs in the browser, but I think this is pretty impressive for 5 days of work, and it wasn't even close to finishing. Right? I mean, this looks pretty darn good. We have an entire inventory here. We have life. I can sneak. I actually just figured that out. Yeah, so you can go play this. Are there caves? I don't know if there are caves. I don't know how far down we can go. Let's find out. But like, again, I basically gave it no guidance. Okay, so I reached stone. Let's see if it keeps going. Stone takes a little bit longer. Yeah, this is going to take a very long time now. I don't know how far down this goes. If you guys want to figure it out, please do. Let me know. Oh, I found lava. Oh, okay, yeah. Whoa, that was weird. All right, so as you can see, like far from perfect, but certainly for 5 days, really good. Very, very impressive. Okay, now this is the next one. The Excel clone. I realize right now this is live, so you can go play with it. I think everybody shares the same one. So now that I'm thinking about this, I might actually have to take this down and republish it so everybody has their own. Or maybe it's saved locally in a cookie. We'll find out. So basically, it is Excel. It has the functionality is all there. I gave it a goal. I said /goal, create an Excel clone, full feature parity. That was the entirety of the prompt I gave it. And here's what's really cool. Codex is so awesome. It opened up Excel on my computer, the actual Excel, and it would use computer use powered by GPT 5.6, and it would just click around in Excel, find a feature, recreate it in this version, in the cloned version, and then move on to the next one. And once again, I stopped it after about 6 days. and it would have just kept going. And, you know, again, it's not perfect, has some rough edges, but I think if I would have just let it keep going, it would have produced something very clean and very nice. Okay, so like you can double click, I can say plus, click here. Everything works really well. You can have pivot tables. So here is kind of a simple table, and here's a pivot table created from it. Right? You can have different sheets. Can you guys see these sheets? Oh, it's at the bottom. Let's see if I can resize. No. So as you can see here at the bottom, I have different sheets that you can use. You can add different sheets. This is the pivot table. This is sheet 1 with the actual data. It's all really nice. Let's see. If I click analyze, let's see, can you guys see this? I'll move this over a little bit. Yeah, you can see. So here we have charts. You can create charts. Here's pivot tables, data analysis, goal seeking, what if. All of these things work. All of these things work. It's very impressive. How much did it cost for 6 days? I actually don't know. At the peak, I think not just this, to be clear, like all of my usage over that trial period, I was probably using between like 2 and 5 billion tokens a day. I know that's a lot. I don't typically use that much, but I was just so excited to be testing everything. Yeah, WTF indeed. And let me tell you something also. When I was switched back to GPT 5.5, I was running it and running multiple threads, probably 4 or 5 threads at the same time in parallel, 24 hours a day. And I was barely getting through my full quota. OpenAI is extremely generous with their quotas. And that is also why it's super important to use these frontier models for planning and orchestration and then delegate out to the less expensive models to actually write the code. You maintain the same performance, but you're paying a fraction of the price. Let's just say, 50% cost reduction. All right. So yeah, it was super neat. So yeah, it just works. So I can click here. I go to data. Let's sort it. Ascending, descending. It works really well. Let's see, equals sum. Is that going to work? Look at that. Has the nice tooltip that pops up. I haven't even tested this, so we'll see. I highlight it, hit enter, and there it is. Super impressive to me, right? It was a 6-word prompt that got this. And if you're not using loops, you really should start to figure out how to use loops. The more I use it, the more powerful I realize they are. For example, once again, with Astro, this project I'm working on, I created a set of benchmarks to see how well my harness that I'm building is doing. And I basically said, loop on the harness until you reach a 90% score plus. And it ran for 2 days, and it finally reached 90%. And it's incredible. The project I'm building is incredible. I'm going to open source it, by the way. So coming soon, I promise. All right. So yeah, if you want to play around with this, you can. It's right here on this page. I'll drop the link one more time if you want to go check that out. John, loops are so simple. I feel people overhype them as far as what they are. It's no more than like a set of checks and saying, hey, keep working until you meet these checks. That's right. Simple does not mean not powerful, though. They are incredibly powerful, conceptually quite simple. Here's the goal. Don't stop till you reach the goal. Now, designing a really good loop is still not easy. It's not difficult, but there are a large spectrum of quality of loops. And so I guess I'm going to have to show one more thing of ours. We have this loop library skill, and it's called Loopy. I'll drop this in chat right now. Open source, go check it out, 2,500 stars. And Loopy helps you create loops. And it not only helps you create loops, but you can find existing loops that might apply to your situation. It can review your code base and recommend loops. It can monitor your loops. It could review the loop performance afterwards and give you suggestions for how to improve it. So go check out Loopy. You can install it in basically any agentic editor, Codex, Cursor, Claude Code. It works in all of them. Go check it out. Loopy like Clippy. Yes, Alex, that is exactly what it is. I need a good icon for that. Basically, maybe that paper clip in a circle I think would be cool. Yeah, so go check this out. We're adding functionality to it, probably about once a week or so. But it's been a lot of fun. And go use Loopy. It is actually useful if you're trying to learn how loops work, how to design loops. It's really good. Okay. Okay. I want to talk about browser control. The thing that blew me away, probably more so than anything else with GPT 5.6, is its ability to use a browser really well. Codex has a browser, and maybe you knew that, maybe you didn't. Codex has a browser, and it is very powerful. And I suspect OpenAI is going to be investing heavily into the Codex browser. They came out with the browser Atlas, which was supposed to be the kind of AI native browser. It didn't really take off as far as I know. But everything seems to be merging into Codex. And so all this functionality, including the browser, is going to be in Codex. I've found myself using browser control in Codex quite frequently, at least a few times a day. For example, when we switched from forwardfuture.ai to forwardfuture.com, I had to do all of these DNS updates across a bunch of different services, Vercel and DigitalOcean and GoDaddy, of course. And I literally typed in like a 10-word prompt into Codex, and it just did everything for me. The only thing I had to do was log into the different websites, which once you do it, once you're already logged in, it stores the cookies, and it just works. It really works well. I cannot recommend using Codex browser enough. Jeff, but Codex is merging into ChatGPT app. Yeah, or is ChatGPT merging into Codex? Who knows? It's going to be a super app. I suspect. I think it's hard to do, right? Because you have chat, you have work, and then you have code. And how do you merge all three of those things into a single interface, which is easy and simple to understand for people who just want to chat, but kind of leads them down the path to start doing more powerful tasks using work, and then obviously leading them all the way down to Codex? And then how do you make it so it's not overly simplistic for the folks like me, probably like you, who are wanting to do some coding and wanting to do more complex tasks that require a full agentic harness? It's merged. Did they release their super app? Okay, I did not know that. Interesting. Is that what they announced this morning with the work app? Yeah, it's merged. Okay, so I think, is this what you guys are referring to right here? Take on your most ambitious work with ChatGPT. All right, what if, yeah, let's see. Come on, give me some screenshots of what it actually looks like. Go update your apps. Yeah, I got to do that. All right. Cool. Let's keep talking about it. So yeah, browser use. Okay, here's another thing that it did for me with browser use. So it is definitely the fastest, the most accurate, and I was doing this massive, let's say, data import into Astro, and Supabase, I kept reaching the maximum quota allotted to my Supabase instance, and so I basically just told GPT 5.6 to manage it for me. I logged into Supabase and it would scale up the Supabase instance as necessary. And then as soon as this massive data import was done, it would scale it back down. And it was just monitoring it, looking as soon as it got close to maxing out the instance, it would scale it up. And it was so impressive that I didn't have to do a single thing. All right, so we talked about these. Okay, so a few notes about the differences between GPT 5.6 and Claude Fable. Personality-wise, I feel like either they're doing this intentionally or it's an artifact of the GPT-5 run. It is still a little bit bland, the personality of GPT 5.6, which, you know, it's fine. It's supposed to get work done. I don't need it to be my best friend. But it is nice every once in a while to have like a little personality in these models. And so that's what I found with Claude Fable. It would say things and I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool way to say it, or oh, that's nice of it to say. And I really appreciated that. The path to completion, yeah. So like GPT 5.6 was a straight shot. I gave it a task. I knew it was going to get it done. I knew it wasn't going to find all of these offshoots and kind of side quests to go on the way. Put some benchmarks on here if you want to see the benchmarks compared. Here's the pricing. We already talked about that. I mean, you know, it's basically SOL is half the price of Fable. Okay, here's another one. Astra OS. So there's a full operating system built with GPT. You want to, okay. Let's see. Maybe I'll do some coding. I think. All right, let me show off this operating system. So I can't remember how long this one ran for, but I basically said create an operating system. The only thing that is unimpressive is the design of it. It is so ugly, but there's a lot of functionality here. It seems to work decently well. I didn't spend a ton of time building it out. Yeah, so let's see. We got settings. Yeah, it's very simplistic. Yes. Yeah. AI fails. I agree with you in this. For this one in particular, it is pretty ugly. It is pretty ugly. However, I will give it credit. Like the loop library, it designed this. I didn't mention it, but it designed this. Here's the dark. Sorry for the flashbang, but I think this is off. Yeah. So it designed this. I think this is pretty good looking. It took just a few iterations. Brace yourself, flashbang incoming. Yeah. So I like the flat design. I think this is really nice looking. You know, it's very simple. That's what I wanted. That's what I went for. Yeah, I like it. Again, like it has this desire to make everything into a PowerPoint presentation, which is exactly what this looked like before the last iteration. Okay, so let's see what else. I don't know if the browser actually works here. Let's see. It does not. Okay. Terminal system monitor. So yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I haven't dug deep into this, but it seems decent enough. This one was really cool. Can y'all see this? So this is a Rube Goldberg machine game. I think it spent like a day building this. Multiple days for a model that dropped this morning. 123 Any Street. Don't forget, I had early access. I think that's what you're referring to. So yeah, let's see. So we can run the machine. You know, some of the physics I think still need to be cleaned up, but it's pretty good. All right, and you can edit it. You can add a bunch of cool stuff to it. Let's see, keep editing. Yeah, so you can, you know, play around with it. Check it out, by the way. Again, this is all live on the GPT 5.6 review website, which I'll drop one more time in chat so you guys have it. And by the way, open to any feedback about what you want to see on future model review websites like this. You want to see more demos? You want to see more of my kind of personal interaction with it? Let me know what you want to see. And yeah, if you go to forwardfuture.com, it's right here at the top. You just click this and you can get the full review. All right. And then, of course, what we had to do, we had to make the Rubik's Cube simulation, bringing back the old school. If you've been watching this channel for a little while, you probably remember the first model to nail this was Gemini 2.5 Pro. Nailed it. And at the time, it was mind-blowing that a model could actually do this. Not only obviously scramble and solve, but actually do the 3D simulation of the actual Rubik's Cube. So here it is. Now, kind of wonky when you go under it. I wish it was a little bit better. I like this. You can click on these and kind of get different views of it. Kind of a nice little design thing. Let's scramble it. Let's turn down the speed. Turn speed. I think that makes it. I wonder. Yeah, that makes it slower. So I'm going to turn it all the way up so we can see it a little bit better. So there we go. We get scramble. Then if we solve it, let's see if it can do it. There it is. We can actually see all of the different moves. Sandcastle Kid. Matt, do you think SAS is truly dead now? If not, what do you think is SAS's moat now? I mean, it's probably for a longer video. I can probably spend a few hours talking about this. I think there's a lot of SaaS companies that are going to struggle over these next 24 to 36 months. There are probably the incumbents, the biggest companies in the world, the Salesforces, the Boxes, HubSpots. Like they're going to be okay. And especially the ones that are going headless, like Boxes investing heavily in that. Salesforce headless, I think it's Headless 360. Like if you're building products for agents and you're adjusting your pricing for agents, I think you're going to be probably pretty okay. Now on the flip side of that, of course, it sure does look like Anthropic wants to own all software. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that was their strategy. I know I said SaaS is dead like a year and a half ago for the first time. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more confused than I was a year and a half ago. I still think like if you're just some kind of mid SaaS company, you're going to be screwed. I I also don't think, I can't remember who this company was, but there was a company that said they rebuilt Salesforce for, I don't know, it was like $10,000 using Claude, and they ripped out their $100,000 a year Salesforce subscription. I don't think that's going to be a thing. Like when you're an enterprise and you are relying on this software, just being able to recreate the software is not enough. You have to maintain it. You have to make sure all of the security best practices are there. Trust me, it is not as easy as just cloning a piece of software. There's so much more that goes into SaaS than just that. Also, unless building and maintaining software is something you want to become your core competency, you should probably rely or outsource that to experts. Thanks for the question. Yeah, so there we go. Orbit speed, auto orbit. Yeah, there we go. So pretty cool. I wouldn't say this is the best one made so far, but you know, pretty good. You could turn it right there like that. So we can actually see the scrambling happening. We could actually solve it like this. I used to be able to solve Rubik's Cubes. I don't think I'd be able to do it right now though. So then let's solve it. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, so that's it. Go check it out. Once again, GPT 5.6 review. I'll drop it in chat. Please enjoy. Let me know what you want to see next time. Hot take, Fable Cube is better, Alex says. I agree. Alex, do you have a way? Can you link me to it? I don't want to open up my here.now page, my dashboard, because I'm afraid it's going to show something I shouldn't on screen. If you can find that and send it to me, that'd be great. All right. What else do you guys want to see? Okay. Yeah. So really cool. Full review found here. Let's check it out. Let's see what else. This is my post. I posted this on Twitter. Yeah, it was very impressive. Good question. Shoshansa, are you running this on Cerebras? No, I'm not. They did make the announcement when they first publicly announced GPT 5.6 a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, that one of those versions or the kind of the real version, the big version, is going to be published or served from Cerebras. I cannot wait for that to be. I don't think it's live yet though, but I can't wait. If you guys have watched this channel at all, you know I'm a speed maxi through and through. I want the fastest possible inference speeds. I do not want to wait around. Okay. Thank you, Alex. This is Fable's Rubik's Cube. Now, one, you can actually like physically move the different sides, which is kind of nice. And then you can rotate it all around. I think it just looks better overall. It's definitely much more simplistic. I really like it. It's a very satisfying click. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but as you're doing this, there's a very satisfying click. Then you solve it. And there you go. By the way, I'll drop this if you want to play with this in chat. Here's this version. Nikhil, you tried Terra, didn't like it, went back to 5.5. Yeah, what is the price difference between 5.5 and Terra? Do you guys know the current pricing of 5.5? Alex, would you mind linking me to the pricing of 5.5 so I can compare? But I think here's the important part. Terra, $2.50 per million input, $15 per million output. Yeah, I wonder, like, are you going to be using 5.5, kind of the high-end version, or are you going to be using Terra or Sol of 5.6? Yeah, I know Sol. I want to know 5.5 if you have that. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, perfect. Look at this. All right, so GPT 5.5, $5 per million input, which is the same price as 5.6 SOL. Wow. What? That's kind of nuts. They're definitely going to bring the price down, right? They have to. Why would anybody use 5.5 over 5.6 SOL? But I think the real value, the real savings are in these two models, Terra and Luna. That's what you use for the actual writing of code. I can't get over that. Yeah, I mean, this is basically a signal to never use GPT 5.5 again. And if they are the same exact price, I assume they use the same exact quota. And so there really is no point in using 5.5 anymore. Crazy. Yeah, 5.6 from here on out. There's something wrong with my Codex app. I like cannot download, or I can't open it right now. All right, so let's look around, see what people are saying. No need to call me babe. Reset will be coming this afternoon. Hell yeah. According to willcodexreset.com, willcodexquotareset.com, 60% chance that Codex gets reset in the next 48 hours. Turns out it is now a 100% chance. So go use those tokens. Burn through your 5.6 tokens. Go to Ultra mode. Max it out. Do whatever you can. Because Tebow, as of like an hour ago, said it's coming. Let's see what Matt Schumer said. One-shotted this voxel-based Manhattan. Look at the precision. Yeah, this is pretty nice. Shout out Matt Schumer. I want to see some destruction, though. All right. So I was on MTS this morning monitoring the situation. Maybe we watch a little bit of it together. It's kind of long, though, Brian. Where is my section? Brian, do you have a link to my specific section? Where do I find that? Okay. Let's see if I can find my section of this. Oh, but I can't even. I'm not even going to be able to get the audio working. So I don't know. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? Let me try playing something and see if you guys can hear this. They have effectively squeezed every drop of juice out of the GPT-5 trade run that they possibly could, and the result is No, I don't think you guys can hear this. Okay, so a couple things. I'm gonna get audio sorted out. You can hear through the speakers. Yeah. I'm kind of over that. I'm going to get all of this sorted out, by the way, everybody. We're going to do live streaming more frequently. I know I've been a little bit off these last couple weeks. One, I've been busy. Two, I actually took some time off Went on vacation for the first time in a while, but we're going to be back. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. Go check out forwardfuture.com. More live streams coming soon. We're going to get some of the team on the live stream. Thank you all for joining. Really appreciate it. It's been fun hanging out. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.